There's two types of students in a class: those who top and the average ones. The top ones have perfect grades, perfect attendance. Teachers admire them. Parents compare their children to them. They're told from a very young age that they're destined for greatness. Then, something unexpected happens. Years later, the story is different. Some of those once average students have become respected professionals, entrepreneurs, artists, or leaders. Meanwhile, some former top students are still searching for direction. What happened? Did intelligence disappear? Were school grades meaningless? Not at all. The real answer is much more interesting. Because the qualities that make someone successful in school are not always the same qualities that determine success in the real world. And understanding this difference may completely change how you think about education. Imagine playing a game. The rules are clear. You know exactly what you'll be tested on. You know when the test will happen. You know how many marks each question carries. If you study hard enough, success becomes fairly predictable. That's school. For over a century, education systems around the world have been designed to prepare students for an industrial society, one that valued discipline, punctuality, and following procedures. In this system, the ideal student isn't necessarily the most creative. It's the one who can consistently produce the correct answers. There's nothing wrong with that. Knowledge matters. Discipline matters. Hard work matters. But here's the problem. Real life isn't a game with fixed rules. The exam never ends. The questions keep changing. And nobody gives you the answer sheet. Psychologist Carol Dweck spent decades studying why some talented students stop progressing. Her research uncovered something surprising. Children praised for being smart often become afraid of looking unintelligent. Now, think about it. If everyone believes you're naturally brilliant, then failure becomes terrifying. One bad result isn't just a mistake. It feels like proof that you were never intelligent in the first place. So these students begin avoiding situations where they might fail. They choose safer careers, safer opportunities, safer challenges. Without realizing it, they begin protecting their identity instead of expanding their abilities. Dweck called this the fixed mindset. On the other hand, students praised for effort rather than talent develop what she called a growth mindset. They stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What can this teach me?" That single change in thinking can alter an entire life. Imagine two graduates. Both earned identical grades. One enters a workplace where problems have no textbook solutions. Clients are unpredictable. Markets change overnight. Technology evolves every year. Suddenly, memorizing information isn't enough. Now, success depends on judgment. Can you make decisions with incomplete information? Can you communicate ideas clearly? Can you persuade people? Can you solve problems nobody has solved before? As management thinker Peter Drucker once said, "The greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence itself. It is to act with yesterday's logic." School often teaches students what to think. Life constantly demands that we learn how to think. Failure. In school, failure usually carries a penalty. bad grades, embarrassment, disappointment. So students naturally learn to avoid mistakes. But outside school, failure becomes one of the greatest teachers. Every entrepreneur has launched ideas that didn't work. Every scientist has conducted experiments that failed. Every writer has produced terrible first drafts. The difference isn't that successful people fail less. It's that they recover faster. Author J.K. Rowling once said, "It is impossible to live without failing at something." Ironically, students who struggled early often become comfortable with setbacks. Instead of fearing failure, they expect it. And because they expect it, they keep moving. For decades, society treated IQ as the ultimate predictor of success. Then, psychologist Daniel Goleman challenged that assumption. He argued that emotional intelligence, the ability to understand emotions, communicate effectively, handle conflict, and build relationships, often matters just as much. Think about the people you admire. Chances are they aren't successful simply because they're knowledgeable. They're successful because people trust them, want to work with them, want to follow them. Knowledge may get you hired, but other factors often determines how far you go. So, why do some students achieve extraordinary results in school, but never reach the same heights later? Not because grades are useless, and certainly not because intelligence doesn't matter. It's because school measures only one part of human potential. Life asks different questions. Can you adapt? Can you keep learning? Can you recover after failure? Can you work with people? Create value where none existed before? As Socrates is famously credited with saying, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." Perhaps the most successful people aren't those who knew the most when they graduated. Perhaps they're the ones who never stopped being students. Because in the end, the report card eventually disappears. But curiosity, resilience, and the willingness to keep learning can shape an entire lifetime. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and share your story in the comments.